Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another Planty video. Today we're going to be doing a chill, relaxed, kind of chatty repot with me. I haven't done one of these in a while. I feel like I used to do them all the time, where I would just talk to you about life or random topics while I repotted my plants. So they're back. That's what we're going to be doing today. And the topic that I'm going to be talking all about today is YouTube. So I have had several of you reach out to me and ask for tips on starting your own YouTube channel, whether it be PlantTube or something else, and asking what my experience has been, just for any guidance, what equipment and editing software that I use, just all kinds of things. And I figured I would just do it in a repot with me because there's just so much to talk about. So for the first half, I'm going to be talking about my experience so far, being a full-time YouTuber for almost a year, which is crazy. I thought that this was like the perfect time to film this video to kind of celebrate almost my 1 year of doing YouTube full-time. It's so crazy. This month, a year ago, I submitted my notice to quit my job, which still just blows my mind. But anyways, we will get into that in a moment. So the first half is going to be my experience and me kind of reflecting on my past year. And then the second part of the video is going to be my tips for you, things that I've learned along the way, and just hopefully helpful information if you're wanting to start your own YouTube channel or social media in general. It probably applies to Instagram and TikTok as well, or whatever you're using. Okay, so that was a very long intro. Before we hop into that, I just wanted to show you guys the plants that we are going to be repotting today. I have 3 Hoya and an Alocasia. So let's start with the little Alocasia. Okay, so gonna need to get close here. So this is my baby Alocasia cuprea. Is it focusing? No, it's not. This is my baby Alocasia cuprea, and it finally has given me 2 leaves. It's still living in sphagnum. I propagated this, or I didn't even propagate this. This lost all of its leaves. I just had the corm, and I grew it back from that corm. So I'm thinking that I'm able to repot it now, but I haven't seen the roots yet. So we'll pull this out, take a look at the roots. If it doesn't have a good root system, then I'll probably leave it in moss for a little while longer. But yeah, once we get into the 2 leaf zone, I feel more confident with potting these up. So we shall see. But these 3 I'm definitely going to be repotting. So the first one is my variegated Hoya Bella. This is the Louis Bois. I still don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is the variegated Hoya Bella. And no, this isn't the Louis Bois. This isn't. This is whatever the other one is. I've heard it called the Lita. What? Is that accurate? I have no idea. Let's just call it Hoya Bella variegata. This is the one that's variegated on the outside, on the margins. Very cute. I really love this one. I'll talk about it more once we get to the repotting, but it seems a little bit different than my other Hoya Bella. Okay, and then next, this one is very exciting. I'm going to be potting up my Hoya serpens. Look at it. Oh, it's so cute, and it's got little tiny baby leaves on the way. You're not gonna be able to see them, I don't think, but they're just like tiny, tiny. And then it does have some new growth that's kind of maturing on the end there. I've had this Hoya serpens for several months now, and it's still in sphagnum moss. I think all of these, yeah, all of these are in sphagnum moss. And the roots look really good. So I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm able to pot it up now. I'm just gonna set it in there. I have pots picked for them, all ready to go. And then the last one is my Hoya fungii. So this is my Hoya that I grew from a wet stick, which I'm very proud of. And I've had this in moss for a full year now, and it seems to be doing okay. Has a pretty good root system as well from what I can see. And yeah, it's just about time that I pot it up into soil, and I'm sure it's going to take off once I actually have it in soil. Or potting mix, I should say. I have my bin beside me here, and I made a fresh batch. Looks very nice. I spill it all over my carpet. All right, so I've wet the sphagnum moss for everybody, so they should be relatively easy to remove from it. I'm gonna go grab my tea, and then we will get started. Okay, so I'm just going to start getting all set up here. I'm just drinking a red rose tea with a little bit of coconut sugar and a splash of almond milk. Okay, I'm gonna set my potting mat up. Okay, do I have everything I need? I feel organized, which is rare. Feels strange. Okay, so maybe I'll start with the Hoya fungii. It's right here, and I'm gonna be putting it into this little tiny terracotta pot. These things, you have to water plants that are in these tiny terracotta pots a lot because they dry out so fast. So I'm just gonna try to stay on top of that, but I'm kind of running low on my pot supplies right now. Anyways, okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about was, yeah, like I said, just kind of reflecting on doing YouTube for the past year. Well, I've done YouTube for longer, much longer than just the past year, but the past year is when I decided to pursue it as my full-time job. As many of you know, if you're new here, I'll just give like a brief explanation, but my career before I started pursuing YouTube full-time was nursing. I was a registered nurse. So I went to school for 4 years and then I worked as a registered nurse for 4 years. So that consumed like a pretty decent chunk of my adult life. And I always kind of did social media like a little bit as a hobby or like a little side thing. And then I got into plants and started PlantTube and just got really into, yeah, just really into the whole plant scene. And my YouTube started taking off. Oh yeah, I should make a disclaimer for this video. Everything that I say is just my experience, my thoughts and opinions, like especially for the advice portion that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, and I by no means like think I'm this big YouTuber. Like I am still a very small channel and I'm very aware of that. So I hope that this doesn't come across as, I don't know. I just hope it doesn't come across in the wrong way or with a weird tone or anything. The main message that I want to convey is how grateful I am. But okay, so we'll get there. So anyways, long story short, quit my nursing job, started doing YouTube full-time, and now it's been a year. That's where we're at. So like I said, probably the biggest thing that I have to say in this video is just how grateful I am. Oh my god, I'm gonna get emotional. I literally did not think that I would get emotional making this video. But here we are. Let's take a pause. Okay, I'm good now. Yes, so the biggest feelings that I have about this and the biggest thing that I have to say is how grateful I am to have this job and to have this opportunity. And I would have none of this if it wasn't for you guys. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry again. Oh my gosh. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. Okay. So yeah, I would have none of this if it wasn't for you guys and your support and your encouragement, you guys watching my videos, liking them, leaving comments, follow me on Instagram, watching my stories, liking my posts, subscribing to my Patreon, buying my merch. Literally, the list goes on and on. Sharing my videos. Every little or big thing that you do to support me makes such a huge difference. And yeah, I just would not be able to be here if it wasn't for you guys, clearly. And I'm genuinely so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. So that is the first thing that I wanted to say. Every single day I think about how grateful I am to have my life. Like, I have my dream job. It's not perfect. Nothing in my life is perfect, like far from it. But I'm genuinely just so happy and just so thankful every day. Being able to do YouTube really changed my life. I now have a job that I love, that I'm passionate about. I'm able to stay home with Olive. Like, that's so huge. The sphagnum is taking forever to take off. Let me speed her up here. Okay, I got most of the sphagnum off. It's really hard to talk about something, especially that I'm like passionate and emotional about, and to focus on like doing something effectively. Okay, so we got that off. My health is so much better. Both my mental health and my physical health. Oh my goodness, my mental health, it's like night and day, like such a big difference. Sometimes when I'm driving, I think about the feeling I used to have when driving to work, which was just like anxiety and dread, like so much anxiety. And I'm just so grateful that I don't have to do that anymore. I don't ever want to have a job that makes me feel that way again. And nobody should. Nobody should have to feel that way. My physical health too, I can have a normal schedule now. I don't have to stay up all night. Like that's just made such a big difference for me mentally and physically. And it was definitely just what I needed to do for myself. I think the biggest thing though is just being able to spend my days doing something that I love, something that I'm passionate about. I've never felt like that before. Like I've always just felt like it's just a noise. I guess I had just never found myself where I was supposed to be. Does that make any sense? Like I feel like I did these different things and it just wasn't where I'm supposed to be. And now I've found plants and the plant community and doing YouTube, and it just feels right, and it brings me so much joy. I love being able to do something creative. That in itself just feels so rewarding to me. The job satisfaction that I feel now, I have never experienced job satisfaction before, like ever. Like I've never felt like I was doing anything that made a difference or helped people, which is really ironic considering what I used to do for work. But I have so much jobs, like I genuinely feel like I'm helping people. When you guys leave comments that my video relaxed you, helped you with your anxiety, helped you with your plants, those types of comments are genuinely what keeps me going. I actually feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives, and yeah, it's for the first time out of any job that I've worked. Okay, so there is the Hoya fungii. Look at how cute it looks in that terracotta. Oh my goodness, this has been such a long time coming. This plant has been on a journey. I'm so happy to have it potted up. How cute. Okay, I need to take a tea break here. So I wrote down a list of pros and cons of doing YouTube full-time. Sometimes I get asked if I miss my old job, and my answer to that is that there's definitely, like, no, basically. That's that's the short answer. But the long answer, if I'm to think about it and expand on that, I would say that I miss parts of it. I miss my coworkers. I had some really awesome coworkers, and it's really fun to be part of a team. Like, I mean, I guess it could be a good thing and a bad thing. It just depends who you're working with. But when I was working with my favorite coworkers, it was so much fun. Like, I genuinely had a blast on those days. So I definitely miss like working with fun people. It can get a little bit lonely when I'm at home every day, just working by myself. I mean, I'm sure I could find a buddy to like edit or something with locally. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should find like, I definitely need to put more energy into finding like making more plant friends, and it'd be even better if I could find somebody to work with or somebody else that does YouTube or something like that. So there are ways for me to like create a co-working environment, but it's obviously a lot different. Like, it's not the same as when you're working. All the jobs I've had have been working as a team, because before I did nursing, I worked in restaurants for like 10 years, and that was always a blast if you were working with the right people as well. Like, obviously it was awful overall. But what made it fun and the memories that stick with me in my mind are just how fun it was working with my coworkers. So I would say the coworkers are probably the #1 thing that I miss. I hope that you guys are interested in my reflections. I'm like really going in here. Okay, let's get started on the next one. So why don't we do, that's not where that is going, or should it be? I was gonna put my Hoya Bella in this little white ceramic, but then I just saw how cute the Hoya serpens looks in it. I think I might do the serpens in this one. Yeah, okay. So for this Hoya Bella, I'm going to use just one of these black pots. Let's take the price tag off. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling the moss off of this guy. This has a new stem, this new little baby stem on that side that it's shot out. Same with my other variegated Hoya Bella. That one has a second stem that's come out as well. This one I find, this is what I was gonna say about it at the beginning, but I find that this one is like really thick. Like this is much thicker than my regular green Hoya Bella was. It has more of like traditional Hoya feeling leaves. I don't know, my green Hoya Bella was much thinner. Okay, camera battery died and cut me off, but what I was trying to say is, and also my other variegated Hoya Bella, the inner variegated one, which I think is the Louis Bois. That one, it's thinner as well. I don't know what it is about this one. It's just so chunky compared to the other ones. But anyways, let's get this sphagnum off. Oh, these roots are nice. I'm so excited to finally have this potted up. Look at those roots. Oh man, there we go. Nice. Okay, so as I was saying, I made a little pros and cons list. So I'm just gonna go through those briefly. This whole chatty video is actually like therapeutic for me. It's really helpful to just reflect on my life, I guess. So thank you for listening. Okay, so the first thing I have on pros is own boss. So to be your own boss obviously provides a lot of flexibility and freedom, which is really nice. I don't really have to answer to anybody. This could actually be a pro and a con actually, because being your own boss can be quite stressful, but we're just gonna focus on the pros for now. So yeah, flexibility, freedom. I can schedule my life however I like it. I love routines, and I remember when I did shift work, I always just like longed for the ability to have a routine, because I would work 4 on 4 off and nights and da 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 da. So there was no like, I didn't even know what day of the week it was half the time. Now I have like my Sunday routine, my daily routines. It's just so much better for me mentally. So I'm really thankful to be able to have that, and also just like the flexibility to be able to put energy into different things, and being able to spend time with my friends whenever. Like I don't have to miss things anymore. I used to have to miss things because I wouldn't be able to get the time off. So now I can really prioritize those things in my life, which is so nice. It's just, yeah, it's very nice. Like I said, it's super beneficial for Olive. Like I used to hate leaving her at home alone. It broke my heart. So now I'm so thankful that I'm able to stay home with her. I'm able to walk her every day, or try to walk her every day. It's rainy now, so she doesn't like going. It's literally raining right now, and I'm gonna have to take her after this video, or try to, so say a prayer. Next I have is creative and fun. Like I was saying, it's a creative job that I love doing, and it's just so nice to be able to put my energy into something that truly makes me happy. It's funny because I was thinking the other day, I've always liked making videos. Like even when I was a kid, I was always the kid that was like stealing my parents' camcorder and making videos with my friends, and I just loved filming videos. So it's kind of funny that that's what I do now. It's just always been something that I've found fun. Yeah, it's just so satisfying to be able to be focusing on what I love and spending time with plants and connecting with you guys. And that's the next thing, is just being able to be involved in this community and chat with you guys. It makes me so happy. Your guys' comments always make my day. Your messages on Instagram, even my inbox is so unwell, you guys, so I'm so sorry if I don't respond. It's impossible to keep up with. But your messages always make me so happy, and it just is so nourishing to be able to connect with people over a shared interest. Like, I can genuinely feel your guys' love, especially when I'm going through something or I'm feeling down. Your comments really just lift me up. And if I'm ever feeling uninspired or don't feel like filming and just kind of lose my motivation, I just read your comments and they really just keep me going. So thank you so much to everyone who comments sweet things on my videos. Okay, so now for the cons. Not that I want to focus on negativity or anything, but obviously nothing's perfect, like I said, and there is cons to doing social media full-time as well. So the first one that I wrote down is fear of it collapsing / anxiety. So this is probably one of the hardest things about doing this for me, is that in the back of my mind, I constantly have this like anxiety that it's all just going to be like ripped out from beneath me overnight or something like that. I guess it just feels so surreal to have gotten this far and to be doing what I'm doing, that I just have this constant underlying fear of it just collapsing in on itself, I guess. Like, I have this constant fear of, maybe one day nobody's gonna like watching my videos anymore, or I don't know, just of something bad happening. And I don't know, like, it's kind of a realistic fear because YouTube doesn't typically last forever. Like, I know I'm not gonna be able to do this job forever, and yeah, I don't know. It's good now, but I guess it's just like a question of, I guess I'm just aware that this isn't really a forever job. Like, that's just not really how YouTube works. I mean, I don't know, like, maybe I will be doing this for a very long time. That would be friggin' awesome, but in a lot of cases it's not. So I guess it's partially like my uncertainty of what else I'm going to do or what I'm going to do after. Because this is just, I love what I'm doing right now. Like, it feels perfect. Like, it feels like I'm living in this dream world most days. So I guess I'm just scared of losing that. But whatever happens, I'm just gonna have to roll with the punches, and that's life. And we change and adapt, and people change jobs all the time, and I'll just cross that bridge if I ever come to it. Hopefully it's not just gonna collapse overnight like my brain tells me it's going to. But yeah. I think that this kind of ties into the second thing that I have written, which is pressure to keep up with social media, pressure on myself. Social media is always changing. There's so many new features added like every week, and you have to post so much, and it just feels like a lot of pressure to have to keep up. Like, for example, on Instagram, now there's Reels, and if you don't use Reels, then your Instagram's not going to grow, and stuff like that. That's just an example, but that's how it feels. Like, there's just always pressure to be creating like better content and just to stay relevant, I guess. Also, you need to stay true to yourself and create the content that you want to be creating. So yeah, it can be difficult, and I do put a lot of pressure on myself to be creating good content, and sometimes content flops, and it's just, yeah, it can be kind of mentally exhausting. Another con is just how unstable it is as a job in general, how unpredictable your income can be, especially as a smaller channel. Like, it does fluctuate a lot. It's very unstable, and obviously that can be stressful. especially AdSense. Like AdSense is very just, it's freaking crazy. Which is why I'm so grateful to anybody who has ever subscribed to my Patreon or bought merch. Like it seriously helps me out so much. Yeah, the instability of it is not great, especially because my like top goal, well, one of my top goals, my like top goal right now is to hit 100,000 subscribers, but my top goal for like next 5-year plan type of thing is to buy a house. That's like all that I want in life, which is sad that we are at this time for young people where that's like my dream is to buy a house, because you know, like 20-30 years ago it was not like that. It was much more attainable to be able to buy a house, but that's my big goal that I want in my life. And being self-employed and having a more unstable income obviously makes that harder. So that's definitely a con, but it's a con I'm willing to accept. Yeah, I mean, for big YouTubers, that would probably be no problem, but I don't have 1 million subscribers. I'm not making like tens of $1,000s every month, you know what I'm saying? So the last, well, no, I have a couple more. I'm gonna try to group them together. Okay, so I have finances, like being complicated, like you like doing all your bookkeeping and taxes and everything, like that's much more complicated than when that was just like done for you when you're an employee somewhere. I hate dealing with that type of stuff because it's just so confusing. So that's something that sucks. Being your own boss, being a one-woman show. Like I said, being your own boss is kind of a pro and a con, because on the one hand, it's like you're your own boss. You can do whatever you want. But then on the other hand, it's like you're your own boss. Like you have to figure everything out. So it can be a lot to keep up with. And sometimes I wish I just had somebody to give me clear instructions, like do this right now, do this today, like this is what you have to get done. I guess that comes down to self-discipline. Like it takes a lot of self-discipline to be self-employed, and that's never something that I've been great at. So I've really been learning and growing in that aspect, which is good. I'm getting to the point where I'm a lot better with my time and with organizing. Finally, it's taken me like a year, but I feel like I'm finally getting to that point. I feel like my mental health improving has definitely had a big impact on that as well, because that made it a lot harder before, but lately my mental health has been pretty good, so I'm thankful for that. And then the last thing I wrote, I kind of already talked about, which is just the question of what's next. Like I feel like I need to plan ahead, but it's kind of hard to plan ahead because I don't really know what's gonna happen. Like maybe this channel is gonna take off and I'll have 500,000 subscribers one day and I'll be able to keep pursuing creating content as my career, but maybe it won't. Like maybe it will go downhill and I'm going to have to shift gears. Like I said, I'll just have to cross that bridge when I come to it. It's just a lot different from my old job. My old job was very secure. There's always nursing jobs available, right? And you have decent pay and you have benefits, and that's a whole other thing. I didn't even talk about benefits, but yeah, oh my goodness, I could literally talk about this forever. But here is the Hoya Bella, looking cute. I love like fresh potting mix. This just looks so satisfying to me. I think it's gonna be really happy in this pot. Perfect. I kind of want to pot them both together, the inner and the outer variegated Hoya Bellas. I think I'm gonna do that. Next time I have to repot them, I think I'm gonna put them in a larger pot together, because I think that would look cool. Okay, so I have these guys done. Now for the last two, this is gonna be a long video, holy crap. Okay, let me finish my tea here. Okay, so for the last two that I'm going to be repotting, we are going to pivot a little bit and talk about my tips or advice for people who want to start a YouTube or have started one and just want some advice from me. Okay, let's start with my Hoya serpens. So I'm going to take the sphagnum off. So the first thing that I have to say is to research social media or YouTube specifically if you're wanting to start. Oh my goodness, there's little leaves at the bottom. What the heck? There's like little growth right at the bottom. Can you see that? Oh, that's hilarious. What the heck? The vine coming out there. There's 2 vines coming out here. That's so weird. Okay, so the first thing and the biggest thing that one of the biggest things that I can emphasize is to research YouTube or research whatever you're pursuing, Instagram, TikTok. There's so much information online, on YouTube specifically. There's tons of channels just dedicated to social media or YouTube. And like, these are really great resources and I find them super helpful. Yeah, honestly, you need to put in the work. You need to put in some hours researching, because, you know, as nice as it sounds, to make a pretty video or to make a video that you think is interesting, it could be a great video, honestly. But if it's not optimized to be pushed out for people to view, it's not going to take off in the way that you want it to. Like, YouTube is a business and there is a specific strategy to grow it. The algorithm is always changing, so you need to find out what is going to get your videos pushed out to people. It's honestly always changing, especially because platforms are trying to keep up with different platforms right now. So YouTube used to be like clicks. If you got clicks, then your videos would be pushed out. The YouTube algorithm really liked videos that got a lot of clicks, so people started making really like clickbaity thumbnails. You know, this was like several years ago, and now we've shifted more to kind of a watch time thing. Like, if you get a lot of watch time, like your average viewing time, if that's high, then YouTube's gonna push your videos out more. Which is why it's so helpful when you guys watch my videos right to the end. Like, it really makes a big difference for my channel. Because YouTube is no longer pushing videos that people just click and watch, you know, 30 seconds or a minute of and then click out. So yeah, anyways, there's literally hours of information on that whole topic, but just in general, very important advice is to research and figure out what you can do to create content that people want to watch and to get your channel and your videos out there. Second thing I'm going to say is to create searchable content, especially if you're just starting out. That is, you know, a big way that people are going to find you is somebody searching how to propagate and perlite or how to get rid of root rots, for example. Like, that's very searchable content versus something like this, what I'm filming right now. This is not highly searchable content. I mean, no, it's not really. This type of content is more tailored to my subscribers, people who are interested in what I have to say that already watch me. But when you're new and you're just starting out, I think it's really beneficial to just get out like as much searchable, like how-to content as possible within your niche. And then you can add in more like personalized content, which I do think is very important to have a mix of like content that's just focused on your niche, but also to have some personal stuff thrown in there as well. It makes it more relatable, and people just like to get to know who they're watching. And it's also more fun for you as the creator. Like, I don't think I would be nearly as happy doing this if I never got to share with you guys what's going on in my life. Like, I love vlogging. I love just connecting with you guys on a deeper level than just plants. So for me, I like to have a mix, but searchable content is definitely going to help people find your channel and help your channel to grow. Okay, the next thing is, you know, you hear this a million times, and it's for good reason, because it's very important, and it is consistency. Now, I know everybody says this, I'm not going to go into it a whole bunch, but consistency is so important. There's so many people who start a YouTube and they post a few videos, and then either they are not getting the views that they want, like it's not it's not satisfying enough for them to want to keep creating content, or they don't have the time, or they're not I don't know, it could be a million reasons that they stop creating, but I think most of the time people get discouraged because their channel isn't getting the views that they would like to see. So they stop, when really you just need to keep up with that consistency. And yes, it feels weird at first to be talking to a camera when you don't have an audience yet, you only have a few subscribers, or you have 0 subscribers. Like, yes, it is a weird feeling, but eventually those subscribers will come. People are going to watch your videos if you keep up, if you keep going, keep pushing out more content. Like, eventually something is going to get suggested to someone or get picked up on the algorithm. I did YouTube for years, honestly, before my channel really started taking off, and I wasn't really consistent throughout those years because I was doing school and I was working, so if I was consistent, maybe it would have happened sooner. But the point is that you just need to stick with it. And this kind of ties into the next point that I have, and that is to study your own content to figure out what's working well. Like, you really need to look at the analytics, figure out what people are watching, and then kind of like assess and go from there for what content to make more of, and maybe what content didn't do super well, or maybe you can still do, like, create more of the content that didn't do super well, but do it in a different way. Like, try to learn, just try to learn what has done well and what maybe hasn't, and try to figure out like what the reason is. I feel like I study my own content a lot. Some of it seems random, like I can't really pinpoint why some things have done well and others have flopped when I thought they were going to do well. But I spend a lot of time going through and like looking at the content that I've made and seeing like what you guys like what has done really well. Same with thumbnails, like which thumbnails have done well. We all have something unique and individual to offer. So if you study your content and kind of see what people are liking about you, like you have your own specific things that people are gonna like. So I feel like it's really beneficial if you can find out what that is and tap into it. Okay, I got the sphagnum off mostly. So another thing that I just wanted, oh yeah, the little vine came off too. I guess I'm just gonna pot it in there separately. It has like tiny, tiny roots. So the second thing, or something else I wanted to mention along with that point, if you're not sure like what people want to see or what's, what your audience wants to see or what's gonna perform well, ask them, ask your audience, ask your subscribers, ask your followers what type of content they like to see from you. It can be so helpful, and there's nothing wrong with asking people what they want to see. Like, that's only going to help you. I ask you guys questions on the community tab all the time, and it helps me out a lot. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the pot. Okay, I have the last point on here as you have to love it. And I'm not at the last point yet, but I just feel like I need to mention that sooner in this ramble, because I feel like if you don't love it, if you don't like creating videos, if you don't love the topic that you're creating videos about, it's just not gonna work. Like, if you're just in it because you want to be able to make money from social media for, I don't know, just like the money or what you perceive as an easy job, or whatever it might be, because there are definitely people who just do this for the money. So I just really have to emphasize that you have to love it. You have to be passionate about it. You don't have to love every single thing about it. Just like I said, like I have a whole list of cons as well. But if you're not passionate about it, you're just not going to like have the stamina or the inspiration to keep going, and it's not going to be rewarding to you. You're not going to like it. And at the end of the day, it's just like, what's the point of doing it? You know, like I started making videos just as a hobby. I never expected it to be my job, ever. Like, that's why I'm so shook every single day and so grateful, because it just blows me away. But that was never my intention. Like, I just loved making videos. Like I said, I've always loved making videos, and I love connecting with people. I love sharing my life. I think it's so fun. I love watching YouTube, so I wanted to become part of that and be a creator. So yeah, I think that you're just going to get frustrated if you are coming into this just from the perspective of wanting to make money or wanting, like, I don't know, some sort of notoriety or something. Like, I just genuinely think that you have to be passionate about your channel or about your page or whatever type of social media you're pursuing. Okay, next I have just like some practical things. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest or talk about is lighting and sound. Now, you have to have good lightings for your videos. Like, you just, it doesn't have to be perfect or great lighting. You don't need to invest in a whole lighting setup, but filming in front of windows is super helpful. Like, natural lighting is honestly the best lighting. Unfortunately, where I live, it makes it quite challenging to film, especially during the fall and winter, and sometimes the spring. So like 3/4 of the year, because it's raining. Like, it's dark and rainy out today, so I have my ring light set up in front of me, but lighting just makes such a huge difference. So if you can try and get some natural lighting, or if you don't have natural light available, if you can buy like very cheap ring lights. I did not spend a lot of money on the one that I use, and I've had it for years. It was like very cheap off of Amazon. So if you do want to like have a small budget to get started, I think lighting is a really important thing to focus on. And the second thing that I think is important is sound. A lot of people start out filming on their iPhones, which is great, amazing. I vlog on my iPhone sometimes. Honestly, the cameras on phones now are just so good that it's not super important to buy a camera right away. Okay, Hoya serpens. Oh no, I potted it kind of, well, no, it's fine. It's fine. I thought I potted it kind of sideways. I wasn't even paying attention to where the front, because this pot has little peace sign, and I wasn't even paying attention to where I was potting it in the pot, but I guess that works. It's just kind of it's just kind of to the side, but that's fine. That's what it looks like. Very cute. I actually like this one in the white. It's a nice contrast with the really dark foliage. Okay, what was I ranting about now? Oh yeah, sound. So like I'm saying, filming on phones, great, fine, awesome. Definitely recommend that for when you're starting out. Unless you have the money and you can buy a camera, then do that, I guess. But iPhones are awesome to film with, but they don't have the best sound. So if you're gonna invest in something, I would invest in a mic before a camera. Because if you're filming with an iPhone, using a mic just makes it so much better. People don't like watching videos where you either have to have like the volume all the way cranked to hear what they're saying, or it's just like muffled, and I just think that that hurts the quality of your content a lot. So I think that lighting and sound, very important. And I just wanted to say that because I feel like a lot of people just automatically think camera, like I have to buy a camera, I have to save up the $1,000 to invest in a camera. Which, if you have that money, if you want to invest in that, then that's great to buy a camera. Like, especially with the one I'm using, this one has really good sound quality for so when I'm filming in front of it like this, I don't really have to use a mic. If you have a camera, the mic's not as important, but definitely if you're filming on your phone, you can buy mics for pretty affordable on Amazon, just for like a basic one, and I just think that it would really be beneficial, and I just think that it makes a big difference. So I'm definitely not saying go out and spend a bunch of money on your setup when you're first starting out, but I am saying that if you have a little bit of money to spend, then there are specific things that I think are going to make a big difference. Second thing I have is to learn basic editing online for free. Okay, let's start taking this cuprea out. So you can learn anything on YouTube, you guys, seriously. You can learn how to use whatever editing software that you have, which a lot of editing software is free as well. I edited just using iMovie for a long time. And I had no idea what I was doing when I first started out. I'm still not great at editing. I had no idea what I was doing when I was starting out. I'm still not. Okay, let me see. Does this even have roots? What the heck? Okay, it does. Oh, for a moment, like I was looking at the bottom and I couldn't see any roots. Oh, that scared me. Okay, no, we do have roots. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, so I had no idea what I was doing. I basically just watched tutorials on YouTube and just learned little things as I went. Like, it's going to be very overwhelming at first, and I don't want people to be discouraged by that, because you're not going to be a perfect editor right off the bat. Like, I still have so much. I know like nothing about editing, to be honest with you. Oh my gosh, there's another Hoya serpens vine here. Oh no, maybe I just forgot to put it in. I forgot to put this in. Oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna pop this baby in. Yeah, so editing, okay, got that guy in. So yeah, editing might seem super daunting at first, but if you just learn piece by piece, and watch some tutorials on YouTube, I think it's super helpful. And then once you have the basics down, you get a little bit more confident, then you can search up like whatever specific thing you want to learn. If you see something in someone else's video and you're like, oh, like that's so cool, like how do I learn that? Then you can find it on Google, you can find it on YouTube. Like, there's tons of information out there specific to different editing programs. So once again, you just have to put a little bit of research in. So these are the roots on my little cuprea. They're so cute. Little dainty roots. Okay, so I'm gonna be potting this one in this black one too. Maybe I should just put it in one of these plastic ones. I think I might do that actually. I think I might just put it in one of these little plastic ones that I've just taken my other ones out of. Let's use this one maybe. Just because it is quite small. I think that will be a little too big. I don't want it to rot. And then I'll just repot it in a couple months or whatever. Okay, we're almost done, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna fill this with a bit of soil. Okay, I just have a couple more points. The next one was thumbnails. Thumbnails make such a big difference in getting your videos pushed out on the algorithm, getting your videos seen. So again, it comes down to studying your content, seeing what videos have done well. Sometimes it's not related to the thumbnail, but sometimes it is, especially if you make like a bunch of similar videos with different thumbnails, if you kind of look at which ones performed better. And again, thumbnails are something that you can find tons of information on YouTube, how to optimize your thumbnails. But I think that sometimes people don't put as much thought into that as maybe they should, because it's a game. Like, the YouTube algorithm is a game, and you need to know how to play. So you need to put the research in. And you don't need to be a super artsy person to be able to create a good thumbnail. Like, my thumbnails aren't even amazing, but I just use Procreate and Canva to make most of mine. Which leads me into the last thing that I wanted to talk about, which is just the different like products or services, the different things that I use as a YouTuber. So the camera that I use, that I film most of my, well, pretty much all of my main Planty videos on, is the Sony ZV-1. I film my vlogs on a different camera, my old camera, which is the Canon G7X Mark II, which is a great camera, but the autofocusing is not the best, and it's not compatible with a mic. So I upgraded to this Sony camera to film my like main videos, and I love it for that purpose. A big reason that I don't vlog on this Sony camera is because I find the image stabilization to be absolute crap. Like, it's so shaky, and I don't know why it just has like the worst image, that's a tongue twister, image stabilization ever. But it's so much better on my Canon. It's so much smoother, and also on my iPhone, like, it's so much better. Like, iPhones are so smooth. The image stabilization on those is great. So that's why I don't really vlog on this Sony one, but I do love the colors. I love the autofocusing. I think that it looks really good, so I'm super happy with it to film my main videos. I do also film some of my vlogs on my iPhone, like I said, and I think that that's fine too. Obviously, it's not like the same quality as filming with my cameras, but it works fine. I just have a cheap tripod ring light from Amazon. For editing my videos, I use Final Cut Pro. I get asked that question sometimes. I used iMovie for a long time, and then about a year ago, I upgraded to Final Cut Pro. I use Lightroom to edit most of my photos. I guess I also do edit my thumbnails on Lightroom. I use Lightroom, Procreate, and Canva to edit my thumbnails. And the mic that I have is the Rode Wireless Go. Rode Wireless Go. I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? I think so, but I don't even use it all that often, to be honest with you. I use it sometimes, but not super often. Anyways, I can link everything that is linkable down below if you're interested in what I use, because that's probably really boring for somebody who's not like specifically looking for those things, which is why I'm just glazing over this section. Oh, I didn't even show you. Look at it. Okay, this is so cute. I'm glad I put it in the smaller one. Look at that. It's so stinking cute. This is actually the perfect size for it. Oh my goodness, it's like falling over. Okay, I'm really happy with how all of these plants turned out. That was a long chat. I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to that, and I hope that maybe the second section was helpful if you are somebody who is wanting to start a YouTube or social media. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming along this journey with me. It's been a wild year. Yeah, we're not gonna get teary here again, but thank you guys so much. You know that I love you and appreciate you so freaking much. Can't wait to chat with you in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Try